Hey everyone, got a bit of a crossover episode for you today. First off, with all the fires that are happening in Australia at the moment, um, it's just been devastating for a lot of communities on the east coast and on the west coast as well. I'd just like to thank all the fireys that are out there fighting these fires tirelessly. The work that these guys do is insane. I've grown up around areas where we've had bushfires as a kid, and it's not a good place to be. And these guys just go headlong into it. Our condolences to people that have lost families and homes and businesses and things like that. It has been devastating, and hopefully the donations that us and others have given can help in some small way. Another way that we can help, and the topic of today's episode, is actually protecting overhead lines from damage caused by bushfires, such that we don't actually lose power to these communities that are fighting the fires, and if there is power losses, then the time taken to actually get them back online is a lot lower. To give you a bit of background, I've been researching bushfire protection of poles for it'll be since 2007, 2008. When I actually helped develop the coating system that Western Power use on their power poles. It was developed for their pine poles to overcome any issues they might have in their fire-prone areas with the CCA treatment. It's worked reasonably well, but it does have certain drawbacks. In particular, you tend to only be able, given that it's a factory application, only about 30 to 60% of the poles that are put in service go into areas where it's a high bushfire risk. So there's a lot of poles that get coated, probably unnecessarily. So to try and overcome that, and to be able to also address the risk for poles that are already in the network, I've been searching for the last 12 years or so for a field applied solution that's actually economical and does everything we need it to do. And the other benefit of a field application is when you're doing factory application and you're just replacing individual poles, you're not replacing a whole line, then it actually doesn't really protect that line in general. So you can still have the pole next in line fall over due to a bushfire, and then it can still bring down the whole line, and your replacement costs aren't really that much different. So the idea is to help stop an entire line coming down, or very much limit the amount of replacement that you need to make. So after quite a bit of searching, we finally found the Charcoat CC product. It just ticked all the boxes. It's by far the best cable coating on the market, but it also has intumescent properties with which a lot of cable coatings don't. And it smashed everything else that we looked at out of the park. And so what I wanted to discuss today was actually our turnkey solution that we have, where we can team up with Powerlines Pro. If you're not sure which poles you want to coat, we can actually take a whole heap of environmental data, previous bushfire history, environmental data, across your entire network, and model it in 3D, and we can actually tell you which poles are highest risk for bushfires. That can then be used to form a work package that actually works within the budget that you have. And then we team up with, or Revo Group and Polyspray Coatings team up. Revo Group provides an inspector, and Polyspray Coatings provides an applicator, and we go out and we do a full overhead line inspection and coating in one system. So basically, you don't have to worry about training people up. You don't have to worry about managing it within existing inspection systems or using existing crews and things like that. We can just come in and do the service for you. So hopefully this was useful. Hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea of what type of solutions are actually out there. We don't just expect you guys to hand a pail to an inspector and tell them to go out and coat poles. We want to make sure, given that it's such a critical asset, critical issue in bushfires, we want to make sure it's done properly, so we will train and things like that. But we're pretty confident that the turnkey solution should be quite attractive to utilities. So thanks for watching. Send us any questions that you have, write in the comments if you have any, and yeah, hats off again to the fireys. Thanks for everything you're doing, and I'll see you next time.